Tonight, on the epic series finale of the 9mm reloading series, we're going to take a look at the Lee 9mm bullet seating die and the Lee 9mm factory carbide crimp die. Alright, welcome back to the Freedom Bench. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Let's get through this 9mm series by kicking it off by going through some of the components we're going to be using tonight. First off, we're going to dig back into our Lee 9mm die set, and we're going to use the third and final from the die set, which is the bullet seating die. And we've already got it in the press, which we'll go over that in a second. After that, we're going to take a look at the Lee 9mm factory crimp die, and then other items we'll be using tonight in order to make sure we have the bullet seated properly to the correct case overall length. We've got a set of calipers, and last but not least, projectiles. There's our Berry's 124 grain .356 round nose plated bullets that we discussed in the prior video. And let's get right into it. So we've got here already into the press. This is the Lee 9mm bullet seating die, as I mentioned before. And just like all of the other dies in the set, this thing needed to be set up to the proper specifications, and we did some testing to make sure that that worked properly, and I locked it down and got it in place. Now, for those of you wondering, I'm not going to actually show you, but I can just walk over what you need to do. You need to lower the ram, or I should say raise the ram to the top of the stroke, and then turn it down until it hits the ram, top of the ram, and then you got to back this die out 3 full turns. And then from there, you can adjust this top knob. You can turn it in and out to adjust your overall length, and then once you do a couple test rounds and then measure it with your calipers, then you can lock this thing in. So that's what we did, and let's just pause the video here, and then I will get a couple through there and we'll show you what we got. Alright, so I got 5 projectiles right here ready to go, and let's work through 5 of these. So I'll grab a case that's already got its powders in there, and we will put this guy on the ram, and then we'll seat a bullet and raise it up. And since I've already got this thing set up properly, let's get our calipers out. We'll turn it on there. Make sure that we're 0. And the overall case length needs to be 1.16 here. Let's see if I can get you on there. We are currently at 1.645, which is perfect. So we'll add that one to the tray. Let's do a couple more. See what this one's measuring at. This one is at 1.159, which is dead on. We want to be at 1.16, and within, you know, a couple hundredths or even thousandths is perfect. Look at those. Aren't they beautiful? We've got 50 rounds of 9mm, 99% completed. I say 99% completed because we have to run these one more time through the Lee 9mm carbide factory crimp die. And we're going to get that thing set up and I'll show you what it's all about. And we're finally here, the final step of reloading these 9mm. You'll notice we've got the factory crimp die loaded up here in the press, and just a quick overview of how to get that in there. So just like every other die, you got to raise the ram to the top of the stroke. You twist down in there till you hit the top of the ram. And then just like the bullet seating die, there's a knob here at the top that you back all the way out, and then you load your round in here, and you'll raise the round all the way up into the die, and then turn this knob back in until you can feel it hit the case mouth. Once you do that, you need to back that knob out, or I should say you should twist that knob in a half turn for a light crimp and a full turn for a hard crimp. We're just going to do a light crimp here, and what's very awesome and interesting about this Lee crimp die and why I would recommend it to anyone who is getting into reloading is for the following reason. I broke out our Hornady case length gauge, which is machined to duplicate your barrel. And why this is important is because you need to make sure that every single one of your rounds that you fire or load up into your gun is going to chamber and shoot a projectile. So you'll notice here that if we did not have the Lee factory crimp die, when I drop that in there, you can see slightly from the video that that is not all the way seated all the way down into this case length gauge. And if I turn it over, if this was a completed round, it should fall out. Let's see if it falls out. See, it doesn't fall out. I gotta push it out. So why that's a problem is you don't want this thing stuck in your barrel and or causing some sort of misfire or a squib load or something like that. I don't know. So let's load this thing into the Lee carbide crimp die, and let's see if we can get rid of that, because this is going to resize this round and also crimp it. So we'll raise it up, drop it in this thing again, turn it over, falls right out. Beautiful. Let's do a couple more. And you can hear it when it's popping out of there. Drop it in there. It falls right out. Beautiful. All right, guys, I think I'm going to do the rest of them here, and we'll check back in a few. All right, everyone, there you have it. The first 50 rounds ever reloaded on the Freedom Bench. We want to thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening.